also going into the thing, I had I messed up my knee training for it.
Okay.
So I had like a personal trainer. I was going to the gym every single day, training harder than I ever had before. And then a piece of cartilage while I was training tore off and got stuck in the joint. And so that's why I was one of the last people to cross the finish line, because like I couldn't even bend my knee.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. And then also
But you got across.
I got with 3 seconds left. Yeah.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Tronda Talks, Grow Heal Inspire. Today I have with me Darylle, another squidder. I'm so again very fortunate to meet so many beautiful people. Darylle, when you were on Squid Games, I had no idea that you was the lieutenant with Brownie.
Yeah.
Y'all, fortunately, I don't have Brownie with me because y'all know if I had her here, I'll bring her right up here with me. When you was the lieutenant with Brownie, how did it make you feel like for that situation that you had going on for us? Like,
yeah,
what was that like for you at the moment?
It was pretty stressful.
Yeah.
Because in one way, like, you're playing a game of luck, yet, like, I showed up as a board game strategist. Like, I make board games, and I'm literally playing in a board game. And so, like, we were going head to head, and it literally came down to who got to go first, because we knew where they were, and they knew where we were, and it was just a matter of, like, hitting the next one. So I kind of felt like, oh my god, I'm on a global stage right now as a board game maker. I didn't really, like, say that in the show, but I'm like, I failed. I didn't fail, but I felt like I wanted to do a lot better, you know.
We know what the results were. You want to tell them what the results were?
I died.
She died.
I drowned.
Can you die for me? Perfect.
Okay.
I want you to practice, because at the end of this show, you're gonna be doing it again.
Okay.
Darylle, on the show, were there, like, when you went on the show, did you expect to get on the show when you got there?
No. Oh my god, no. I was like okay, long story short, I'm from Canada, and I left Canada in, I think, December 2021 to go live in Mexico. I was like digital nomading, building my board game company, and I ended up in San Diego at some point. My friend had posted on social media that Squid Game was casting. I'm like, that's jokes. Like, I was just bored and living in San Diego at the time, and so I made a video just because.
Okay.
And then I actually heard from them like a couple of weeks later. They're like, oh, your personality's funny, like vibrant. I'm like, that's hilarious. Like, I did not expect to hear from them at all. And
that's the thing. I like kind of when you say you were hilarious and whatnot. What kind of video did you make?
So I was staying at a friend's house, and I just went outside and picked up my phone and just like walked around the pool. But I was really loud and like really fast, and I don't know. I was just talking about being a board gamer and like what I would do with the money on the show and stuff. But I don't know, just loud and ridiculous.
Yeah, that's it. That was up. You want to give us an idea what you did?
What did I do? Okay, so I was just like holding my phone here and walking around the pool, and I'm like, hey guys, my name's Darylle, I'm from Canada.
Oh yeah,
I make board games, and I'm a strategist. Like, I don't lose. Like, really intense.
I get it. I get it. Because that's exactly what you've been doing. I'm gonna tell you, when you hear when I hear you talk, it's so professional. And so when we're hearing you, I'm like, it gets your attention. So that's pretty much, I see now why they got you on it. So you didn't have a sad story of any kind. You just kind of.
I don't have a sad story. I was raised by an athlete, so my dad was a jockey, and so I always learned the champion's mind, like how to just make the best of your situation and stuff. And so there was that, and then just being a game strategist, I think, and then also just being a digital nomad, like living in Mexico by myself. I think it was just a series of abnormal or like
anomalous. It was kind of fell in place. That's interesting. Yeah. I love it, because it's like I've heard so many different stories from how people said one thing and another one. A lot of sad stories.
Yeah.
You know, Netflix definitely did a good thing. It put all different kinds of energies together.
Yeah, absolutely. For sure. Okay. One thing that they said to me in casting was like, they don't want to just cast like sob stories. Like, they want some stuff that's like inspirational. And at the time when I was making board games, we were in a completely different direction. We were trying to make board games around the topic of like mental health sort of stuff. And it wasn't hitting. Like, people don't really want to play a game that is about that because it's such a dark thing. But at the time when I applied, I was like, if I win 4.56 million US dollars, because I'm Canadian, I would put that towards the cause of mental health stuff. And, you know, since then we pivoted and we're just making like fun, crazy party games now because like, you know, a lot of time has gone by since then. But I think like that was maybe a little bit of the part of what added to the story as well.
That's awesome. So like, did you actually think you were going to win?
I was manifesting winning, but I didn't know. I was like, I'm 4'11", first of all. So like if I end up on Tug of War or something like that, definitely there's a disadvantage. But at the same time, like the champion's mind, like I'm always going to be in it to win it and like shoot, you know, 10 steps ahead as well. But also going into the thing, I had I messed up my knee training for it.
Okay.
So I had like a personal trainer. I was going to the gym every single day, training harder than I ever had before. And then a piece of cartilage while I was training tore off and got stuck in the joint. And so that's why I was one of the last people to cross the finish line because like I couldn't even bend my knee.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. And then also
What you got across?
I got with 3 seconds left. Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. And then also, secrets out, 10 years ago, I had hip replacement, but I didn't tell them that because I'm like, if they know, I can tell them now, but if they know that I had hip replacement, like maybe that's a liability. Yeah. They might like think that,
well, count them know because they had some people on there that was pretty older.
Right. But I didn't know that, like applying for it, right? So going into it, I'm like, there's definitely like some physical limitations here. Like I'm going to go for it still.
Yeah, you did.
So yeah.
That's awesome, man. Yeah. That's really awesome. Okay, so I guess we can move on into like, were anybody that, when you were on the show, did you feel any growth?
So much growth. Like even just in red light, green light alone, there was, okay, I'll do it like right here. So I had like somebody 6 foot or whatever knock me over and I'm like in this position like this with a busted knee for like 20 minutes.
Y'all did that right. 20 minutes. We ain't seen number 5, but I keep stressing the fact we ain't seen number 5. 5 minutes, maybe 3. I don't know.
It was not 5 minutes. It was not 5 minutes. Like that thing was like 9.5, 11, I don't know, hours. And
yeah, you was at the very end, so that's another conversation in itself.
Yeah. So I mean, when you're put into that sort of physical situation, like who holds a squat that deep for 20 minutes in negative degree?
And again, y'all need to get out that young woman. That basically,
no, you guys need to not get.
Yeah, it's not. You're fine. You need to get off of that young woman that basically said she couldn't do it.
Nobody knows.
No, y'all even have no clue. There's a lot of things that you guys don't know.
Yeah.
We had one where I know y'all know about Jada, the burger. What they call it, Burger Monster, whatever we want to call it. Y'all don't have a clue what that day.
We were starved. We were starved, and not only starved, but like nutritionally deprived as well. And like you put people in this jail-like condition and they're going to do different things. You know, you deprive them from sunlight. Like I didn't get sunlight for 7 days or fresh air for 7 days. And there's a lot of people that didn't. And then you start bringing out 1 hamburger or 2 hamburgers. People are going to start caging.
What about these pizzas?
The what? Pizzas?
The giant pizza? Maybe that's spoiled them all.
Oh, I was there. Some people got to go back and get pizza. So, but I was like just watching with my resting bitch face. So I don't know if I can swear.
You're fine. So, oh man, so it's like all these things, like nobody knew like what y'all were going through for is that much consumption of food, how much you had, how much you didn't have. I mean, but it is what it is. I mean, they shot the way they wanted. One of the things I hope to do with these episodes is give people a relationship to have with you, or some, try to find something that they connect with you when it wants to, when they see you up there doing worships with your captain.
Yeah.
I really want that to be the kind of thing.
Yeah.
When you were in the show, you grew, you said, and the way you grew was
just like understanding next level of resilience, because in everyday life, I think like bad things can happen over a certain duration of time, but you still have like other stuff kind of feeding into your daily situation. This one was really isolating whatever it was that you were going through, where like that's all you could focus on in that time. And it's for extended, I don't know, it's like an extended period of time within that space. And it really tested you. There were some people that quit. There were some people that couldn't do it. And it doesn't mean that the people that quit are lesser than, but it just pushed you past your limitations physically, mentally, in any capacity than what you could get in a daily atmosphere. And so,
did you find it when you got out of the show, did you fully, I asked this question, would you do it again?
Yes, yes. I would do it 10 times over again. It was so much fun. Like I love a challenge.
100%.
Yeah.
So far, nobody said we'll go back.
Yeah.
Nobody ever said. Did you meet a lot of people in there that 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 you like can't? When you left, did you have anything to heal from?
To heal from?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but not from the show.
Okay.
I was because I was living remote as a digital nomad for about a year and a half, alone most of the time, and knowing that I was going to be flying back to Canada, back to kind of my old life, it was just so weird. I don't even know how to put the feeling in words, but it was a very difficult feeling to digest. I'm going back to like my old life now, because I had in my head that, okay, after the Squid Game, I'm going to go back and really focus on just putting everything into building my business. I'm going to do whatever it takes to do that. So living with my family again, going back to my old lifestyle and all of those things. And so I actually ended up staying in London for 3 more days just to like decompress from it all and then really get my head around. It's not just leaving the Squid Game and going back to Canada. It's like leaving my old life of like living in the sun, did you know them, these sort of things.
But
and yeah, and I forget where I was going with that, but it was a really big transition.
you basically, I was asking about healing, and you told me that basically it wasn't from the show; it was from just regular life, regular living there.
Yeah. And like one thing what was different from everybody else that was in the show was that like I literally lived in the Squid Game. So we were allowed to bring 1 bag and I lived out of my luggage. So I had to bring 3 bags because wherever I was, there was everything that I had. And so living in the Squid Game and then all of a sudden, okay, I'm going to go back and live with my family again after being away for so long. Healing was like, okay, last time I lived there, I was 16 years old.
Okay. Okay. I see where you're going with this because of the fact that you really didn't be a nomad. You didn't have a place of your own regardless. It's just you come traveling, migrating through life as you can, where you stay, where you can, that kind of thing. That's completely like nothing up, like I can't even imagine that would be. One thing is like, nomad for me is kind of another conversation, if you might say being homeless, pretty much.
I wasn't like homeless in the sense of like how people may think of it, but I didn't have a home. It was a choice. And that was my exactly. It was my choice. I was choosing to not have a home, but it still felt very like simultaneously freeing and lonely. But I chose it.
Yes. That's interesting though, to basically go into a game, no specific address.
Yeah.
And
I'm sorry to interrupt you. There was just one more piece here that was the healing part, is that after being so by myself for a year and a half and then being with hundreds of people in a space where we're all sleeping together and hanging out together and building these deep relationships, because I didn't go wide. I went very deep with like I had met a couple of friends that I spent most of my time with in there, and I hadn't built that type of stuff in a long time. And then all of a sudden you're just ripped out of the show and it's like, oh shit, like, okay, that was just a fragment of my reality, but it's not real. It's a reality show, but it's not real. And then, okay, now we move on to like the next chapter like that. It's just like cut and dry. So
that's kind of what you have to hear from. And basically being ripped out of the show based off these new people you found and only knew for what they would call like 7 days. Yeah. Those 7 days were like you knew them, you understood them. I mean, you spent a lot of time with them. Yeah. It's one of the things that I'm understanding too. I had already kind of had an idea when it comes to when you get immersed in something like that, you get to know people on a different level, on a different level. Yes. And the friendship, the bonds, there's no distraction. Because there's no distraction, you have a great relationship with people you never thought you had a great relationship with, or never, thought you would meet. So, but anyway, because you were, in a situation where you had a ton of people around you. And normally as a nomad, you're kind of very single. You're moving around pretty much by yourself. And with that, it's interesting for me because you not only are single, you're doing everything at your own pace.
Yes.
It's like you're doing everything on your own the way you want to do it, just like everybody else. But the difference is you move when you want to move. I go over here tomorrow, I'll be there yesterday. You just move. When it came to Squid Games, you had your own stationary situation, but you was only there, it was temporary. Right? But it felt like way longer. So I'm pretty sure it felt like a month.
It definitely felt longer than, I think it was like 6 or 7 days, but it was literally night and day. Like the other side of the coin of having the complete control of, I could do pretty much with the restraints of like, I'm building my business, so I need to be responsible, but I didn't have anybody look after me and do what I want sort of thing, which was great. Into now you're in the environment of here's what we can eat, here's what
That's
we
what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
It was just
On the street, it had more like you said, jail, you call it.
a fun, but I was fun.
A lot of people, I've heard to jail a couple of times, just a few times here lately, like, jail. Some people like they, everyone has their own opinion, which is great. I love it. Okay, so I guess again, I go back to the healing aspects of what you had going on. And for me, I guess it seems to me like you just need to heal yourself or just heal from the fact of you being out the game, even though it wasn't the game. Because when I asked the question, was there anything you had to heal from? I guess I'm looking for your conversation in regards to, was there anything that you had to make a transition in your life to make yourself be better, do better? When you left, was there any situation where you felt like you wanted to be back there? Or you just, when you decompressed after the 3 days you were there, that was enough?
Okay, I see what you're saying. I think there was definitely both healing from the show, but also healing in the show.
Okay.
If I had to pick which one weighted more, it was healing in the show.
Okay.
So doing the nomad experience was very healing in itself, because I used to be a very shy person, like almost a mute. I did not have any confidence to talk to people. And
If I've been private developer, you kind of private anywhere,
yeah, I was just a very shy person with a lot of ridiculous levels of social anxiety. And then going out, you have to go out and meet people and put yourself out there. So eventually, after meeting enough, we're like, okay, some are going to like me and some are not going to. So I guess I should just be myself. And when I was speaking with casting, I was like, they're like, why do you want to do this? I'm like, is this my final test?
Okay.
Like, if I can go in there and just be confident, then I know that like I've reached where I want to be, and like let it go and like shed those fears of social anxiety from emotion right now. And the biggest test was when battleships came up, and we walked in thinking it was going to be tug of war, and I'm like, this is a fucking board game. Just shut up. No way. And I was like, this is my chance, like, to put myself out there and not just be in the background and like let things go by default, but be by design. And Brownie was like, I've played this game before. I'm like, awesome. Like, let's be on the team with somebody that knows how to play this. I've played it, but it's been years. And then we were trying to decide who's going to be the lieutenant. And I thought about it. I'm like, I need to put my hand out because I know games, but also I need to be brave. I could just sit back and there's plenty of people here that have played the game before too, but just be brave and step up and put yourself on that platform, with the literal ship platform or whatever. And I did that. And I was like, I can't believe I just volunteered myself. Like, oh my God, what am I doing? And looking back, I'm like so proud of myself for just something that may seem so simple to somebody, but to me, the timeline of like getting to that point of being like, I'm going to be brave, I'm going to be a leader, I'm going to put myself out there, I'm going to get a public platform instead of just laying back and being kind of quiet and shy about it. So
you think you got it? Did you did it? You reached it? You got it?
I mean, I sunk, but I got it.
Yeah. I guess I thank you for sharing, letting us know where you were in the moments that you were. And can't be that. I guess, anybody in the show that inspired you?
A lot of people inspire me. But I would say the ones that are the closest inspire me the most, because you get to know them on a different level than like the ones that are maybe shown the most. And I would say my bunk buddy, Sean, he lives in the UK, and it's a funny story. When I first got in, I was like, okay, I need to put my jacket on a bed that's far away from everybody so that I could sleep. So went and tossed my jacket to reserve my bed, and then walked away and joined everybody. I came back, and I see this dude on my bed. I'm like, hey, what are you doing? Like, that's my bed. He's like, no, it's not. Yeah, that's my bed.
Yeah.
And it's like, do you mean the one with the jacket back there? He's like, yeah. And so anyways, we ended up becoming really close friends. And like many times I don't know if this is my juice to share, but I'm sure he'd be okay with it. Like, Sabah, like, I kind of want to leave. I'm like, Sean, please don't leave. Like, I need you. I need my friend. I can't be here alone. And just the way that he like pulled through and was like, okay, I'll stay. And it felt like that, you know, gang, how do you say it, Brad?
Gangwoo.
Yeah, it felt like that. Yeah. And just to know that somebody's like there for you, even when it's hard for them, that was inspiring for me.
Oh, so fun. Yeah. That's pretty nice. Well, you know, anything, we kind of already got an idea of who you are, what you've been doing before Squid Games, you know, and that's normally my follow-up question is to always tell people who you are and what you were doing. But we kind of got that already.
Yeah.
You know, is there anything you want to share? Whatever you want to say it. Because that's the thing I wanted to, like I said, I'm doing this because I want y'all to have some place to stay, wherever you want to stay and how you want to stay. Speak about your feelings. You know, you said you would go back. Now the question comes, because you would go back, you know, would there be things you want Netflix to change? Maybe next time you felt who you are, do you even think you was even, you know, like when you saw what you saw, what did that feel like when you saw on the screen the way they delivered you? What did that feel like for you?
I said resting bitch face the whole time.
Yeah. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, there's a lot of things. I mean, if I were to watch the show done the way that I want to see it, it has nothing to do with showing me more. I just would have liked to see the more like grunge version of it. The stuff that like maybe is a little bit far from PC that happened in the show. They should have shown that because we all liked Squid Game because of how dark it was. So why are we gonna PG-13 it up?
And then you're still dying.
Yeah, make it red. Make the blood red. Like,
why are you still dying? And you know,
right,
you have no, you
right,
don't have like character development. You don't have any of that.
Yeah,
you still
and
dying.
kids are watching it. Like one thing I did mention is that I used to own a dance studio, and I danced since 1997. I was a dance teacher. I opened a studio, and so I had a lot of my students who've been watching this, and they're like 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 years old, and you know they're not watching the real Squid Game, right? But they're watching this, and so I get that the ratings are like, oh, we want the 7, 8, 9, 10-year-olds to be able to watch this, but it's like it felt. I don't want to talk crap, but like it felt inauthentic.
Yeah, it's not very gimmicky. It's just a little bit gimmicky as parts. Like you're dying. That's why I'm still use my little dying parts, but I still want you to gimmickly.
Like we're not allowed to say they were eliminated. Okay. Or sorry, we're not allowed to say they were dying. We have to say they were eliminated.
Okay.
They died.
That's what I'm saying is like if you're gonna make this show say Squid Game's the challenge, you know, be like Squid Challenge or, you know, the game. You see what I'm saying? Change it up that way, you know, because it's like, don't give it the name of something so
dark.
Yeah, and then
make it not.
But yeah, you still want to show manipulation and show certain people not doing certain things. Show it where they didn't have free will. Yeah, because y'all didn't. Show it where you guys were told to do this and every day, that the structure was just what it's showing. You know,
and I'm sure you probably had this in a lot of interviews already, but there was also, on the flip side, so much kindness that was on our show. Like when we had to get into what we thought was tug of war. I'm 4'11", I'm 100-something pounds. Who wants that tugging on their team, right? And Chad, one of the biggest guys in there, he grabbed me and put me in his line. Yeah. I didn't even really know Chad, but just he saw that I was kind of crying and like frantically turning around. I'm like, "Who's gonna take me?" He's like, "Come on."
Oh my God.
It was just so much kindness in the show, and I just feel like they could have covered me as tied. Like they could have covered so many stories, good or bad, and they didn't. I was shocked.
Yeah, I definitely didn't understand what I was watching. Not based off what I understood and knew, because I was just like, whoa, this is interesting. But okay, you know, it's a game show. It's a game show. Okay. Yeah. But either way. Well, it's been a pleasure speaking with you. Is there anything you want to tell the world or say anything?
The thing that I would tell the world is you don't fail. Sorry, the only way you fail is if you quit.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think that's even like contextual to this, but like that's the biggest message I have is like I think people are so afraid to put themselves out there. They're so afraid to try because they're afraid of being judged and failing. But you literally don't fail if you don't stop. So like just take the first step and put yourself out there. And it's okay if people judge you. I mean, they're only judging you because they're not even trying themselves. So the only way you grow is, and the only way you're going to grow is by just putting yourself out there like that. And I feel like I'm a big testament to that because of how shy I was in my past. And you might not know that seeing me here, but like I have come a really long way in like trusting myself and being confident in myself. And I think that everybody has the ability to do that, but you literally have to put the first foot.
I know she's a developer now, so she brought something out on her. Go ahead and show it.
Okay,
Show what you do.
okay. Also, I make party games. This one I am just launching right now. It's called Tiger Banana Pancake. It's like a fast-paced Simon Says style of game that will literally have you like roaring. It makes you do that in the game, and it's wild. It's like an absolute gong show whether you play it with like adults or kids or whatever, but it's a lot of fun. So check it out. Tiger Banana Pancake.
All right, Miss Darylle, I hope if there's anything you want to say it. If you think we said enough, we gonna get up out of here. I think we're good. But nice, I'm loving it. Nice, simple, and to the point. And she is very much so that simple and to the point. So, well, let's go ahead and this is my sign out. We will do like this. We go ahead and eliminate. Oh, we go. I say we go die. You go die. Let's go ahead. Oh, you don't get like bang? Like bang? Cool, Tiger. That's too brutal. Also.
I was like waiting for the few bang. Like you're gonna what are you?
No, you thought this.
You died.
No, that's what I thought. Thank you guys for watching another episode of Tronda Talks Girl Who Inspire. Bye guys.